How did you start building your community on the platform?
How did I?
Yes, sir.
I realized that telling people about my community didn't really work. Telling people, hey, I got this community, come join. You'd think that would make sense to do. Like, well, what's the most obvious way to grow a community? How about tell people you have it? No, turns out that's not the best way. Big mistake. The best way to grow your community is by not telling people you have a community. It's by telling people you have this really amazing free thing. It's a free workshop. It's a free PDF. It's a free mini cheat sheet, whatever. And you can get it by clicking this link. They click the link, takes them to the Skool Community. Done. And then example I like to give is saying like, you wouldn't go up to a bunch of strangers and say, hey, you want to come to my backyard? Want to come to my backyard? Like you can ask 100 people that and you might get a couple lonely people saying, sure, I'll come to your backyard. But if you go to 100 people and say, hey, I'm having a party. At the party, there's going to be this rapper named Drake and Kendrick Lamar and you know, MGK, and they're all going to be performing.
Did you meet all them on Skool?
No, but maybe one day. And if you want to see them perform, let me know, I'll give you the address. They're like, yeah, I'll come to the backyard party, send me the address. Boom. They come to your backyard. So just, that's how I eventually started growing my community, and I just kept rinsing and repeating that method. I would create a free thing, make it super awesome, say, hey, do you want it? They say, yeah, obviously I want it. I say, cool, here's the link. So we've got over 6,000 members in my free community. 6,000 people are there because I gave them something really cool that just so happened to live in the Skool community.
Right. So they came for the thing and they stayed for the community.
Yep.
You gave them what they wanted so you could give them what they needed.
Yeah.
I love that point. I love whenever you apply online things to offline things. So whenever you say, you would never just walk up to someone and say, hey, do you want to come on do you want to come on my back garden? Do you know why I changed it? Because I was going to say, do you want to come on my sofa? And then I was like, oh, you definitely don't want to do that.
Please, no. Please don't come on my sofa.
Because if you ask people, do you want to come to my backyard? They say, oh, you know, it's kind of weird. But if you're like, hey, do you want to grab lunch? Do you want to go to a concert?
Yeah. What are we doing?
What are we doing? You need something to hang your hat on. And then it's the people who are like really, really intimate with you. Then they'll be like, oh yeah, of course I want to come hang out in the backyard. And that's what the community is. And that's what you do when you transfer people from a free community into a paid community or paid community into a mastermind. You're just bringing them that little bit closer, just like you would in an offline relationship.
Yep. Exactly. It's easier to meet a stranger at a big party and then be like, hey, we're having an after party. You want to come? Come to the after party. There's like 10% of the people there at the after party, much more intimate. And then you're like, hey, you want to come in the back room for some shots? They come in the back room for some shots of ginger, of course.
Absolutely.
Wheatgrass shots. Come in the back for some wheatgrass shots. Now there's like 3 people in there. And then we're like, hey, tomorrow we're doing a road trip to Vegas for the Skool Games. You want to come? Like, sure. Like, you couldn't just go to a party and be like, you want to come in a car? We're going to Vegas tomorrow? Like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. So, yeah, apply real life
it's the
human psychology to school, to online. It works really well.